I just found out that it's supposed to go below freezing tonight. I thought I had a couple of more days, but before that happens, there's a lot to do to make sure that we don't have any problems. So let me just show you kind of the little exercise I have to go through. So here's the shed. We built this shed to house the pump. So the way this works is this pipe over here comes up from under the ground from the farmer's pivot. And what I did was I wanted the previous owners would just use the pressure from the pivot whenever the pivot was on. But sometimes the pivot will be down for 2 or 3 weeks because they don't need it for the crops for some reason, and then your grass is all burning up. So I decided to change that and put in my own pump so that I can, since we're at the bottom of the system, gravity brings the water to us. And so as long as if I can put in a pump, the water's there, I can pump it up to the yard, to the sprinklers for the grass. And so what I did was I put these pipes this way, where the water comes up, and then if there's pressure, then that valve is closed, and the pressure comes from the pivot through this and then down into the ground, and then it runs under the shed out to this little valve box and pressurizes the entire sprinkler system for the lawn. When the pivot is not on, then that valve stays closed, and then the just gravity feed puts enough pressure, enough water through that pipe that it goes to, and that's where the pump goes. And so I built all of this so that we could water our lawn with our own pump. But last year I winterized the whole thing, and then I came out here in the spring and it was all busted up, because what had happened was, after I got all the water out of these pipes, the farmer let more water down the pivot, and so it filled these pipes full of water. They froze and they broke, so I had to redo all of these fittings. I had to dig up a bunch of stuff. It was a huge pain. So let me show you how I solved that. All right, so this is the back side of that shed, and this is the corner that one pipe comes up out of the ground at a 45-degree angle. So what I did was I put a standpipe here. I put a standpipe here that goes down to a valve. I don't know if you can see that or not. That valve right there is that pipe going into the shed and feeds it, and that runs in a pipe under the ground right here to that riser. Now you can see I've used I have a tool I made. It's like a T that goes down over that valve. That valve now is closed, which means that even if the farmer lets more water down from the farm up there and comes down through this pipe, it's going to hit that valve right there, and boom, it's going to stop. So now I can clean all the water out of that system, and I think that means that it won't freeze and it won't break. So there's that tool I was talking about. At the top it's just got a T, and then on the bottom it's got this thing that fits over the valve. And so I can just reach down into the pipe, into that standpipe, and turn off that valve. So I don't know, that was a little bit of engineering thinking. So then anyway, there's that stuff with the pipes coming in, and like I said, it runs under the ground here, and it comes to this valve right here that I put in, and then that valve also goes out to those 3 valve boxes that go all the way up to the whole rest of the yard. So again, when that's all pressurized, the sprinklers will work. But I put this in here because you can see right now I've got that valve open, and when I open that valve, that T right there lets water come from this way and from this way and go out, and then drains into the pond and then sinks into the ground. and because that valve is closed behind there, and then those sprinklers up there have all drained down to this, eventually I get enough water out of it that it should be good through the winter. I think I've completed this project now on the pump, and I think this is totally winterized now and should be good to go.